Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is The Poet and the Pendulum by Nightwish. So I've got quite the collection of Nightwish reactions going here on the channel, and I am really happy to be adding this one to the mix. I've already been told that it is divided into 5 sections, and it is sort of an autobiographical tale or telling of what was happening within the band at the time. I know there was one singer that left and the other came in, and that was probably really hard. So I can't wait to hear this translation of this experience into music. But that's not the only thing we're doing here. I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we're also going to dive into all the little details of this music, how it's composed, the instrumentation, maybe some form and analysis and theory, some instrument demos, and of course, how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it so much? Or maybe why do we not like it so much? So no more delay for this one. Can't wait to experience this. Let's listen. Okay, I also have these. They are the Fosse Audio i5 open back planar magnetic headphones, and they are awesome. I've already given them a test drive and am working them into reactions on the channel, and I can't wait to hear this one with these on. And Fosse Audio has also approved for me to offer the audience here a discount. So if you go to FosseAudio.com and enter in the discount code OKChristina15. And if you want the headphones, you may also need to get the ZH3 amp to go with it, because they don't necessarily just plug right in to your listening devices and work at their optimum. But if you enter in that code OKChristina15, you will receive 15% off of each of those purchases. So thank you to Fosse Audio for all of this. Okay. Now we're ready. Here we go. And again, it's divided into 5 sections, and this one is White Lands of Empathica. Okay. That was a fabulous first section. And I know we got into the second section here, which is called Home. But that first section, oh my goodness. That child's voice, boy soprano, girl soprano. Oh my goodness. It was perfection. And then the suspensions and some of those chord modulations were stellar. Just some of my favorite moves in music. So, wow, I could listen to that first section just dozens, hundreds of times. And it was just the opening. Okay. So now we are into home. And I do really want the first section or maybe hints of it to be able to come back. But, well, I'm not going to complain too much here. This is already awesome. All right, here we go. Just going to keep going. We're headed into the next section. All right, that was a great one as well. Obviously very different feel. We're just like heavy metal and, the symphonic scene here. We saw the twirling of the hair and oh my gosh, Floor, she is a goddess. Like really. So this is telling a personal story of the band of when one singer exited and the other came in with, is it Tarja? Is that her name? I apologize if I get that wrong. But Floor, this seems almost, I don't know, awkward? No. Bold? For the new singer to be singing about this story. Am I imagining that? It's bold, right? And some of the lyrics there, they don't hold back. Wow. I noticed in the first section talking about the songwriter's misery but then also about innocence. So maybe that's where the beginning of the struggle was for the band. But here, talking about two faces, like one for the public and one that, it's not so happy in the background. And, some of these lyrics are, heavy duty, very poignant. And I love how she doesn't hold back. Floor is just driving them forward, even repeating it several times towards the end. So this second movement here was very jarring, a lot of conflict, but still talking about home, maybe yearning for home. Interesting. So the next section is the Pacific. And actually, I think I'm seeing here water. So what happened in the Pacific? Or, is it the location of that body of water in relation to where they are? I don't know. Were they on a cruise? I don't know. Oh, but I cannot wait to be dazzled by where this is going to go. Are we going to hear the Innocents again, the first movement? All right, let's hear the Pacific.
raped again and again and again. I know I will die alone, but loved. You live long enough to hear the sound of guns, long enough to find yourself screaming every night, long enough to see your friends betray you. For years, I've been strapped onto this altar. Now I only have 3 minutes and counting. I just wish the tide would catch me first and give me a death I always longed for.
That's the end of the next section. Okay, we are getting heavier. I thought some of the innocence was going to be brought back in. Maybe it was. Her voice. Just perfection. And that is not easy to do, like on stage and in front of everybody, and after belting all of those notes out in the previous section and just all of a sudden calm down. Oh, but her tone is glorious. And how much she just opens up to project out. She's got great pitch, sings very well in tune. And some of those golden notes up there are just, it's so beautiful that it's almost too much. But then we had a turn with the spoken words. Wow. What happened? I mean, that is some true trauma and misery. And I did sort of hear the horns of a cruise ship or something, but It could also just be really scary sounds of the Pacific. What happened on the Pacific, y'all? What happened? Well, the music supported it really, really well. The drama and the trauma of it was sort of palpable. Okay. We're into the next section now. Section 4 out of 5. These are actually kind of going by really fast. I know this is a lengthy song, not as lengthy as The Greatest Show on Earth, but it's going by too fast. I want it to be longer. Okay. Section 4, Dark Passion Play. Boy, the previous section was dark enough. What is this? This is going to be like...
the world. He stopped crying at the end of each beautiful day. The music he wrote had too long been without silence. He was found naked and dead, with a smile on his face, a pen, and 1,000 pages of erased text.
I totally have the chills. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're still on to some heavy stuff here. Those are some really descriptive scenes. So I am catching on that surely these descriptions are, I don't want to say exaggerations, but just dramatizations of his feelings. But feelings can be, you can feel pretty big sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be okay. But 1,000 pages erased and just stripped and lying there and just so betrayed. I get this telling of this story. I see the seriousness of it and how important it was for him to get this out. So again, he's not holding back when he wrote this. Tuomas, right? Not holding back. The new singer. So maybe that gentleman that sang with the long beard, he may have done some singing in The Greatest Show on Earth. but I've not seen him so featured quite yet. And did you see him just belting that growly, grumbly sound out and just going to town on the bass line? That takes true talent to be able to do both of those things at the same time. But then we had a reprise. So some of the material in the second movement came back in. So with all of this drama and trauma, the darkness, we're really having the story kind of wrapped up. But what's going to come next? So the last section, movement 5, part 5, is mother and father. So, parents, would it be maybe the parents of the child that was at the beginning? There was such innocence there. Or is this like, maturity? Are we growing up a little bit? Learning lessons? Those are some pretty heavy duty lessons. So, okay, well, I don't want it to end, but we've got to get to the ending. So here we go. Part 5.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Okay. There's a lot here. Let's go back to the beginning. Even though they talked about the beginning there, that had to have been the voice of the mother, full of love, right? Talking to her son. Who is the father? The songwriter, perhaps. I do think this is, though, about maturity, forgiveness, learning lessons. Okay, but let's hear the beginning, because it was beautiful. Beautiful. What is that note? Let me turn on my keyboard here. That's a high A. And that young voice just hits it just right. All right, I have to keep going. It's so beautiful. I have to hear it some more. It's short, right? Okay, let's just keep going. So pure. Oh, okay, okay. Beautiful. That line. It could have gone, but lovely, lovely. And there really isn't much more beautiful of a voice, right? Than a young singer like that. Oh, so perfect to portray this innocence. So yeah, mysterious, longing, not knowing what's to come, trusting. And soon after this, we find out maybe that's not so good, that we're so trusting. Not quite happy. Okay, but then the next section, lots of fun, tossing our hair around. And those orchestra hits. Love it. Excellent brass section there. The trumpets at the top. Yeah. Some headbanging there. Yeah, see, I see the pendulums. So much fun. Those chromatic lines. Yum, bop, 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 bop. Love those. And that was her grand entrance, right? All right, here she is. So her voice, she has the more floating cathedral tone, but then she has this deeper tone down here. And she really is able to enact that in certain vowel sounds. And a few of them really stand out. Let's go back and find one. So in the word poet, just listen to what she does there. That poet. and then torn. But now she's lighter. The last perfect verse. Tate. Nice. Yeah, so that what she does there on the word home is also, it just showcases her virtuosity in that straightforward sound that she has. Excellent. Oh, they're having so much fun. Okay, let's move forward a little bit. The Pacific. There's some beauty in this movement, talking about the water itself, but the tragedy that's built into this part of the story is pretty alarming. Let's hear what that was like. Beautiful. Okay, that's hard to sustain that. You can tell she's really trying to keep her breath support there, but her tone is just really wonderful. What is that note? So around a D. So she goes up to a G at one point, but that D that she sits on there, it's a sweet spot for her voice. So lovely. All right, and so what's interesting here is that she is in a duet with a string instrument, and I believe it's an upright bass, a string bass. Sound like a cello at first, but there's a depth to the sound and a little bit more of a friction sound in the bowing. And so I think it's a string bass. It was really beautiful. What a pairing there, right? Gorgeous. Yeah, see now. This sounds more like a string bass there. Okay, how she does that on the word time. It was so beautiful. Whew, okay. And still she's singing about really heavy duty stuff here. So yeah, I think it's a string bass. If it is a really wonderful bassist. It's hard to make a string bass sound as agile as a cello, and that musician is doing it. So if it is a cello, I apologize, but my guess right now is string bass. Oh, okay. This part of this movement is also kind of stealing my heart. It's almost as beautiful as the intro. Whew. Okay. Let's move on a little bit though. So the Dark Passion Play. I believe this is where the reprise came from movement 2. Yeah, they're having so much fun. The orchestra. Oh my gosh. Rotting poet. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I believe it. Yep. Musical translation of a rotting poet. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, pretty dark here. And then later on we have the material from the earlier movement brought back in. Yeah. The two faces. I like that. I like that. One for the world and one for God save me. I like how they do that. I also like I Cannot Cry because the shoulder cries more. Oh my goodness. That is some real drama within the band here. Wow. Okay. then we are looking for relief. And I believe this last part did that. I think they're all sort of sitting down, the band, kind of a family portrait moment. And her voice is beautiful again. And the heartbeat. And then there was just one beat. Whoa. Love that bass sound. Bam. That simple piano. Bum, 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 bum. And you hear the oboe solo in the background. Isn't that beautiful? There's something so singing about an oboe, and also an English horn, which is sort of the lower, more muted version of an oboe. It cries. It can also be very rejoiceful, but it cries. And then when Flor comes back in, is she crying too? Oh, that vowel sound. That note is wonderful. So yeah, she is kind of crying, but I think she's also supposed to be a brave mother trying not to cry. So, because maybe the son is already crying. When did you become so cold? So who is the son? Why is the father not really mentioned? Is this a rebirth sort of thing? I don't know. It's gorgeous though. Okay, but coming up soon, we have some more beautiful moments. Let's see. Does that line not totally represent a mother's love? How she goes up to that little tiny note up at the top. It's so gentle and it's so caring. It's safe. And there's the harmony that's underneath that supports it. Ooh. The violin line there, right? So good. Let's back it up and hear it again. And the entrance of the choir. Okay, what the violin did there. That little suspension. So it's almost an appoggiatura, which means like you sort of do a step and, you know, a bigger step and then a smaller step, but essentially they overshoot it. Should have just gone up to up here and down. So let's hear that again because it was gorgeous. Oh. Okay, so I want to go forward to one more spot. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, it's so great. And then on top of it, there are false harmonics in the strings. Let me demonstrate really fast. So the actual notes are, and so that's what the harmonics sound like on the violin. But actually, I think it was also up an octave. So how you do that is you put down one finger all the way down, and then normally if you were to go 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever that fourth finger is, you just lightly touch. And that's how you do those harmonics. So, it's all those little tiny touches that really make this special. It's very special. Okay, that was The Poet and the Pendulum by Nightwish, and it was another masterpiece. Wow. And the story within this, so The Greatest Show on Earth, that was also a really fantastic story. But this is raw. It's really heavy. It's sort of controversial because you have, I guess, the conflict between these real people. And so this was an artistic decision to write about it. What does the previous singer think about it? What does the new singer think about it? And how was this received by the fans? I know it means a lot to everybody, to musicians, to the audience. But what an interesting concept. Quite daring, actually. But it was beautiful. So many excellent parts of this. The heavy metal part and the child soprano part and Floor's amazing voice and the orchestral parts to this. And the band also was really featured in this. I found myself paying more attention to the rest of the band than I have to them so far. So will this go on my playlist? Yes, absolutely. And when am I going to listen to this? Gosh, it would be great for all different moments and moods of the day. It's got energy enough that it could sort of pump you up, but at the same time, kind of keep you grounded, in touch with your emotions. So yeah, definitely going to be adding this to my list of Nightwish songs. So thank you for coming along with me on this journey. And there is more Nightwish coming up, so stay tuned for that on the channel. I also loved my Fosse headphones. It was quite the experience. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.